lot of information coming in right now. Wow. Are you serious? Are you serious? Yeah, this is what I do, guys. This is what I do. I drink coffee and I know things, okay? Every Friday, we're going to do that. I drink coffee and I know things, and I think all of us do. And we know some of the things we know is not very good, but a lot of what we know is great. Let me put a shout out right now for boostwithpaul.com. Here's something I know. Boostwithpaul.com. A cutting edge 2024 study reveals that nearly half of all adults in the United States have high blood pressure. Here we go. According to the CDC, only about 1 in 4 adults have their blood pressure under control, putting millions of people like you, me, and everyone else out there at risk of heart disease and strokes. And we don't want another one of those. I already did that. It might seem like an uphill battle, but taking control of your heart and your health doesn't have to be complicated. Matter of fact, that's why I started using this. This is incredible. This stuff is really, really, really good, guys. I mean, it will help you to manage and control the blood pressure. It's incredible. It's an awesome product. It will help you manage your blood pressure, manage your cholesterol, manage your weight. And I've lost quite a bit of weight, and it helps, man. It's a triple action formula, packed, guys, packed with clinically proven, all natural ingredients like white mulberry leaf. Okay, so white mulberry leaf. Also, there's some cinnamon bark powder in there. This powder formulation is designed to support and balance the blood sugar. And a healthy weight will keep under control. This is less pressure on your heart. Look, you got to do this. Do yourself a favor. Grab this today. Go right now to www.boostwithpaul.com. That's www.boostwithpaul.com. That's www.boostwithpaul.com. You will be glad that you did, okay? You really will. Blood pressure, cholesterol, insulin resistance. I mean, you got to get this stuff under control. All right, guys, let me tell you what else is going on here, because there seems to be a ton of stuff taking place. And we drink a lot of coffee and we know things. Last night's broadcast was amazing. If you didn't get to hear it, if you didn't watch it, you can. It's right here on this YouTube channel. It was amazing with Mike around the world. He dropped a ton of bombs. He really explained what's going on at CERN and the breakthroughs there, as well as AI, that AI brain that's being used in the war in Ukraine. But then he expanded on AI, and yet he's holding back because he's got some stuff he can't even reveal yet, but he told me, he said, I'll reveal them in the webinar. So you definitely want to get your ticket for this webinar. It's called Trump, AI, and the Cyber Society. Just go to our website. Just go to paulbegleyprophecy.com. You'll see it. Click it. Get the ticket. It's BP Earthwatch, John the AI expert, Stan Deo, Josh Peck, Mike from around the world, Clyde Lewis, Daniel the shofar guy. Really, he's Daniel the cyber expert. I mean, that guy is incredible. He started up a company that just was incredible with his abilities, with his technical expertise, and it turned into a $700 million company. I mean, this guy knows what he's talking about. All right, now listen. Let's get into what we know. There's 10 people dead. Then, as this information is just now being updated, 10 dead and 10,000 structures have been destroyed in the LA fires, turning entire neighborhoods into ash. This is terrible. 10 dead, at least 10 dead, and 10,000 structures destroyed. 20,000 acres have burned. And guys, these homes, 10,000 homes and businesses and structures, this is terrible. And it's not getting any better. It's still blazing there. The winds are still howling there. More fires have broke out. There's 5 different fires active in Los Angeles County from east to west, scorching more than 35,000 acres or 55 square miles. And the winds are still blowing. I mean, it's burned down now, an area larger than San Francisco, twice the size of Manhattan. You have to understand, these are incredible numbers here. And our prayers are going out to everybody there in Los Angeles. It's a catastrophic, cataclysmic, apocalyptic. The apocalypse has certainly hit Los Angeles. Also, guys, I can tell you that there's 9 coal miners trapped in India right now. They've been underground now for 4 days. They're 300 feet down. I don't feel good about this. What happened was water started rushing into the mine. Now 3 guys got out, but the water just kept rushing, and it's blocked the entrance and exit. And there's only one way out of there. They're 300 feet below the ground. I don't know how they're going to get them out. There's 9 of them down there. A lot of prayers for these miners, and that's in India. And then in Pakistan, there are 12 coal miners that are trapped in a mine that collapsed in southwest Pakistan. And so officials are saying that methane gas explosion caused the mine to collapse, trapping at least 12 coal miners. It's a very, very volatile situation. It happened this morning. It's just terrible, and they don't feel good about those guys either. So pray for them and their families and everyone involved in that. Now, you guys know we had a major earthquake that hit China, and that earthquake, we know the death toll is close to 200 people. They're still digging people out of the rubble, but it was a 7.1 earthquake. It hit about 50 miles from Mount Everest, but the earthquake did trigger significant avalanches in Tibet. And so those 2 avalanches on Table Mountain and in Beachchung Glacier in Luana in Tibet, very significant. Everybody's watching it, of course. You've got people that live up in that area, especially a lot of these Tibetan monks and places. So they're still trying to check on all of them to see if any of those were affected by these 2 large avalanches. So that's going on in Tibet. Now, also in India, there was a religious ceremony and where there was a major stampede. 6 people are dead, 35 others are injured. This happened in India's busiest, richest temple after thousands of devoted Hindus assembled there to secure their free visit passes. They were given free passes out so people could get in to the temple to pray. This was Hindus. The people, when they opened the doors, the people stampeded to try to get a free pass to go in the temple. And 6 people were killed. 6 people were trampled to death. 35 others are injured in the stampede. It is insane. There was 2,500 people that just rushed and pushed through the gate leading to the temple, breaking down the gate. And this occurred early yesterday morning. That was in India. I mean, it's just insane, the things that are happening out there. Also, let me just say, in Cuba, there was an explosion at an ammunition depot. 13 soldiers and officers are missing. It was a massive explosion. This took place in Cuba, and the Cuban Revolutionary Armed Forces are still searching for these 13 soldiers and officers in this tragic situation that happened there. Also in Tokyo, there was 8 students were injured when a guy attacked them with a hammer. What? A hammer. 8 students injured in a hammer attack at the university campus in the suburbs of Tokyo. The assailant was a 22-year-old South Korean woman. What? A 22-year-old South Korean woman was arrested. She said she was frustrated after being ignored by a group of students, so she used a hammer and injured 8 of the students by swinging the hammer and hitting them in the head. This happened in Tokyo, Japan. People are just going nuts and crazy everywhere. And in Chad, we had a near assassination attempt, an armed attack on the presidential palace in the Western African nation of Chad. The coup attempt failed. The gunman was eventually neutralized. The attack left 19, I said 18, but 19 people dead and 9 others wounded. The president of Chad was not hurt. They never got to him as the presidential guards were able to hang on and protect him. A commando consisting of 24 gunmen stormed the presidential palace and were trying to kill the president. But they failed. 19 people killed and 9 wounded in this coup attempt, assassination attempt. And, that's one of our 25 apocalyptic points to look for this year is a world leader or former leader will be assassinated. Now, that's the second assassination attempt on either a current president or former president already, and it's only January the 10th. So we continue to keep our eyes on that. In Myanmar, there was an airstrike in Myanmar, and it killed 40 ethnic armed group. According to reports, in Myanmar, there was an airstrike. It killed 40 ethnic armed group, okay, and a rescue worker. And so this is going on. There's so much bloody chaos going on in so many areas, so many chaotic things and factions and rebels and groups and governments that are coming apart. Now, in our Western world, the governments are in a state of chaos. Okay, for instance, Canada's Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has announced he's retiring or he's resigning, and they're going to pick a new leader. Same thing is happening, and we have chaos in the French government. We have chaos in the German government. We have total chaos in South Korea's government, where that president has been impeached and removed, but refuses to surrender to the arrest warrants, and they're gathering around where he lives. We know that there's arrest warrants for charges against Benjamin Netanyahu in Israel because of the war. We know that leaders everywhere, and governments everywhere, are collapsing or being overthrown, or the citizens are demanding change. And I'm thinking you're going to see it in California. I expect a serious pressure to get rid of the mayor of Los Angeles, the mayor of Los Angeles, and the governor of California, because this is a unprecedented, tragic lack of competence or mismanagement or maybe corruption. I don't even know what's the right words here. But 10,000 homes and businesses have been burned to the ground. At least 10 people are dead. When there's no water in the fire hydrants, it just doesn't make sense. Anyway, also in Japan, it's the biggest flu outbreak in 25 years. Now, guys, we just went through, the pandemic. More people are sick right now in Japan with some kind of strange flu. This is the biggest flu outbreak in 25 years, according to reports. 317,000 people have been diagnosed with the flu in between December 23rd and December 29th. And this outbreak has not slowed down, but has continued, because since that, there's been another 104,000 cases. So this is a very, very strange situation, an incredible outbreak going on just in Japan. We know there's also a massive flu outbreak in China right now, so we're watching that. Also, bird flu cases are surging in Minnesota as the bird flu is killing ducks and geese all over southern Minnesota right now. Hundreds of Canadian geese were found dead, and also lots of ducks, hundreds of ducks, very high number, as they're dying from the bird flu. That's taking place in southern Minnesota. Also, the winter storm is raging. It's called Winter Storm Cora. There's snow, there's ice from Arkansas to the Carolinas, including Atlanta, Charlotte, and Nashville. This winter storm is already spreading across the southeast, and it will continue to spread today and tonight into Saturday, with additional snow and ice stretching from Arkansas to Virginia and to North Carolina. Treacherous travel conditions and delays and closures are taking place and are expected in other areas. Plus, there's a lighter snow system up in the Ohio Valley and the Great Lakes and the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast. They're not getting near as much snow there, but it's bitter, bitter cold. And that polar vortex is coming down across the nation. And so this winter storm Cora sweeping through the southeast today and tonight, delivering a mess of snow and ice. Arkansas, Tennessee, North and South Carolina, Virginia, the cities of Atlanta, Charlotte, Nashville. This wintry mess is certainly going to cause a lot of problems. Here's what we know so far. As of mid-morning, there's been 14.3 inches of snow that fell in Mena, Arkansas. That's insane. 14.3 inches in Mena, Arkansas. Parts of metro Atlanta have 4 inches of snow and sleet. Little Rock has 7 inches of snow. They can't handle it down there. Memphis has 6 inches of snow. Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas, 2.6 inches of snow. And 6 inches of snow even in some parts of the Dallas Metroplex. You got that going on, okay? And so various winter alerts, including winter storm warnings and advisories, are shown. And you can know this. It's going to be snowing. Atlanta's getting snow. Birmingham, Alabama. Charlotte, North Carolina. Like I said, Little Rock. Louisville, Kentucky. Like I said, Memphis. Also Nashville. Raleigh, North Carolina. You can expect dangerous travel conditions and delays and closures out there if you think you're going to be traveling around. Here's a map that shows this heavy, heavy southeast snow taking place here in America. We're praying. Be careful, guys. If you can stay off those interstates and highways today in the southeast, I would highly recommend it. Plus, there's a lot of flights being delayed, a lot of cancellation of flights because of the inclement weather. And also, as we were reporting, Justin Trudeau announcing he is resigning from the prime minister position. He's been the prime minister of Canada for 9 years. And as his Liberal Party in Canada is collapsing, people are turning and wanting a more conservative leadership. They're looking for a new prime minister. But the Canadian deputy prime minister has also resigned. The finance minister has also resigned. And so just exactly who's going to be taking over the government of Canada, we're not sure yet. But we are keeping a close eye on that because that's very important. Hopefully it will be a conservative Christian would even be better and would work hand in hand with President Trump. They can probably get this border thing under control without having to bring in tariffs. And, of course, Canada will remain Canada. Now, the Polish president, he wants the International Criminal Court. He's saying to them, you got to let Netanyahu be able to come to Poland. So there's some discussion going on there because, Poland is not an independent nation. It is an independent nation, but it's part of the EU. And the EU works hand in hand with the United Nations and with the International Criminal Court. So Poland's president has asked the government to ensure that the Polish authorities will not allow the International Criminal Court, nor will the Polish authorities arrest Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu if he wants to attend the 80th anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz, that Nazi death camp, and that's coming up on January 27th. It's just ridiculous that we even have to have this conversation. But 80 years after the fact, they're trying to say that Netanyahu's involved in war crimes. Of course, he's in a war. Israel was brutally attacked by Hamas out of Gaza. Israel's crushing Hamas. They've also decapitating and crippling Hezbollah in southern Lebanon. Israel's also pushing back and not shooting down everything that the Iranians, the 500 missiles that Iran fired at Israel. They're also shooting down and now blowing up locations throughout Yemen because of the Houthi rebels. And also they went in and blew up a lot of the military installations and airplanes and helicopters and anything that could be used to attack Israel over in Syria after the coup and the overtaking of President Assad. So Israel is fighting a war on multiple fronts. And to think that you're going to then charge this guy is just insane. Also, President-elect Donald Trump had to appear virtually before the judge in Manhattan in the conviction, which is one of the most craziest things we ever witnessed during all that lawfare. And so the judge has ruled that there will be no jail time, there will be no fines, there is no probation, and there's no condition to the sentence. So basically, he sentenced him to nothing. And so we sat there and watched President Trump have to sit in there and sit through an entire trials and accused of a crime that he didn't commit and convicted on 34 felony accounts and millions and millions and millions of dollars spent, taxpayer dollars spent on a useless trials, and President Trump having to spend millions of dollars to defend himself. In the end, Trump wins the election. All of these charges are going to go away because he can, you can't do this to a president. And then at the same time, it's just a waste of money. It was all politically motivated. Alvin Bragg and this Judge Michon, these people, and Lafayette James, the Attorney General, and all of these people that are doing this stuff, Jack Smith and Merrick Garland and everyone involved, and Fannie got caught in the fan, and the other dude was with her, and he's in Atlanta, and then the people with the documents going in, and a raid on, and the FBI raid on Mar-a-Lago. I mean, think about all of this stuff that President Trump went through. Just think about this ridiculous conjured up, and we're not even talking about Hillary Clinton and Russia gate and the false dossier to try to prevent Trump to get elected the first time. I mean, this is really, if there was ever a time that you can see a shadow government, a dark entity, a communist regime to try to bring about a new world order and to tear down the freedom and liberty of the United States Constitution. We have witnessed one of the most outrageous, bogus, politically motivated, soft coup attempts in the history of this country. And while they're doing all that, spending millions and millions and millions of hardworking tax dollars, and after millions more, billions sent to California to prevent forest fires, what do we get? Los Angeles burning to the ground, and this nation frustrated beyond comprehension. The borders are wide open. I mean, this stuff is inflation, migration, frustration. It's just unbelievable. But look, who am I? I'm just a country preacher from the cornfields of Indiana. And I drink coffee and I know things. And the most important thing I know is where the truth is. It's in the Word of God. The truth is always in the Word of God. We're praying for California. We're praying for the people there. We just are just stunned at what has happened, and our hearts are just broken. So I'm going to read from some scripture so that we'll finish with this. Psalms 48. I'm just going to say, great is the Lord and greatly to be praised in the city of our God, in the mountain of his holiness. And we're talking about Jerusalem. Beautiful for the situation. The joy of the whole earth is Mount Zion on the sides of the north and the city of the great King. God is known in her palaces for refuge. For lo, the kings were assembled. They passed by together. They saw it, and so they marveled, and they were troubled, and they hasted away. Fear took hold upon them there, and pain as a woman in travail. Thou breakest the ships of Tarshish with the east wind. And as we have heard, so have we seen in the city of our Lord of the host, and in the city of our God. God will establish it forever. Selah. We have thought of thy loving kindness, O God, in the midst of thy temple. And according to thy name, O God, so is thy praise unto the ends of the earth. Thy right hand is full of righteousness. Let Mount Zion rejoice. Let the daughters of Judah be glad because of thy judgments. Walk about Zion and go round about her and tell the towers thereof. And mark ye well her bulwarks. Consider her palaces, that ye may tell it to the generation following. For this God is our God forever and ever, and he will be our guide even unto death. That is Psalms chapter 48. We drink coffee, folks, and we know things.
Have you been to Jesus for the cleansing power? Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? Are you fully trusting in his grace this hour? Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? Are you washed in the blood, in the soul cleansing blood of the Lamb? Are your garments spotless? Are they white as snow? Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? Oh, yes! Are you walking daily by the Savior's side? Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? Do you rest each moment in the crucified? Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? Or are you washed in the blood, in the soul-cleansing blood of the Lamb? Are your garments spotless? Are they white as snow? Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? Come on! When the bridegroom cometh, will your robes be white? Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? Will your soul be ready for those mansions bright and be washed in the blood of the Lamb? Or are you washed in the blood, in the soul-cleansing blood of the Lamb? Are your garments spotless? Are they white as snow? Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? Now lay aside those garments garments that are stained with sin and be washed in the blood of the Lamb. There's a fountain flowing for the soul unclean. Oh, be washed in the blood of the Lamb. Are you washed in the blood, in the soul cleansing blood of the Lamb? Are your garments spotless? Are they white as snow? Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? Glory! Are you serious?
One more thing. I drink coffee. I know things. And, of course, we know that Notre Dame last night pulled off an amazing victory over Penn State. I mean, it really was an incredible football game. I actually watched the replay of it, and that fourth quarter was crazy. Both teams played brilliantly, exciting game, a clean game, and a lot of fun. And so we just congratulate Penn State for a great season. They really did. Notre Dame has find themselves now in the championship game, which will be played, guess what, on January 20th. That's the day that President Trump becomes our new president. Maybe that night, Notre Dame will become our new champions. But tonight, the Texas Longhorns will be taking on the Ohio State Buckeyes. And so the winner of that game will play Notre Dame for the national championship. My son, Paul Begley Jr., who's a big Notre Dame football fan, I told him, I said, the last time Notre Dame won the national championship was the year he was born, okay? And he just turned 36. So it's been a long, long time. Will they win it? I don't know. Ohio State is probably the best team in the country, but who knows? Maybe it's the luck of the Irish. I'll see you guys. Get some coffee. Pray for California. Pray for North Carolina. Pray for America.